Hey guys, it's Angela Marie, your Queen Sickle Cell Warrior. Today, I just want to talk to you guys about what I do to maintain and to keep myself as healthy as possible so that I can work my 12-hour shifts as a respiratory therapist. The reason I want to talk about this is because a lot of people have asked me several times within the last couple of weeks, how do I work with sickle cell? So the main thing you have to do is keep yourself healthy, right? Or as healthy as possible so that you won't have crisis and be in and out of the hospital. So one of the things for me that really work is the main thing, staying hydrated. Staying hydrated by drinking your water. I drink at least 4 bottles of water a day when I'm at work, which I believe those are like 20-ounce bottles. So let's say 80 ounces of water when I have to work. But when I'm off, I try to drink at least 6 bottles of water, which would be 120 ounces a day. I know we are encouraged to at least drink a gallon a day. I may or may not be able to do that, but hydration is the key. And secondly is your maintenance drugs, which would be the medications that the doctors are giving you and they want you to take on a daily basis. My medication include Oxycontin extended relief to help me get through the day. Then I have folic acid, that's to help your red blood cells continue to reproduce a little quicker than it would without it. The normal red blood cells, I think, reproduce in 21 days, and with people with sickle cell, or it might be 10 days, don't quote me on that, and people with sickle cell, I think it's 21, something like that. So it helps you to reproduce your red blood cells a little bit faster than it would naturally with sickle cell, which would be like the 21-day mark. So folic acid, the Oxycontin extended relief, oxycodone. I'm supposed to take that 3 times a day because I work 12-hour shifts. I can't take that at work. Some people say that they can take it and they have been taking it for so long that it doesn't affect them. But for me personally, I have only been on the medication now, I think 10 years, because I was one of the ones for the longest that would not take anything for my sickle cell and would just kind of be in a lot of pain and suffering or whatever. And then I realized, hey, if you want to be around for your kids, that's what my doctor just told me straight up. Angela, if you want to be around for your kids, you're going to have to take the pain medicine so that you can stay out of the hospital and live more of a normal life. So the pain medicine they give you is, like I said, your maintenance drugs. That's to keep you from out of the hospital, to keep you from going into crisis. Not once you're in crisis, you start taking it. A lot of times it will not work. It won't work for me. So I try to stay on top of it. But the Oxycontin extended relief, folic acid, oxycodone, I think that is it for the sickle cell. I take vitamin D because my vitamin D is low, but I take that weekly. And I also take Eliquis, but that's for something, that's a blood thinner. It's for something totally different. It's not pertaining to the sickle cell. So, yes, in the morning, I get up, I try to assess my pain. Sometimes I have to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to get ready for work. I'll set my alarm to see if I'm in a lot of pain, because especially the night before, if I was in pain before I went to sleep, to see if I am going to be able to push through or if I need to call out of work. But mainly I only do that when I was having pain before I went to sleep. So that's not my norm. So I get up in the morning after I assess my pain and I decide, okay, I can handle this day. I take my Oxycontin extended relief. I put 2 Tylenol in my pocket, extra strength, of course, to take midway through my shift. And I take my folic acid in the morning and a multivitamin. Take that in the morning. Then I go to work my 12 hours. As soon as I get home, I will take my Oxycontin, and then take a shower and prepare for bed. So that's my routine when I have to work. But when I don't have to work, the Oxycontin, they want me to take oxycodone. They want me to take that 3 times a day. Well, as I stated before, I can't take it when I'm working because it does affect me. And I'm going to tell you how it affected me after 10 years. After 10 years, if I take it at work, it makes me sleepy still. There's a 15-20 minute period where I will be really sleepy. And, when you're sleepy, your judgment can be impaired. So, therefore, I know I just cannot take it at work. So, I take it when I get home. But when I'm off, the 3 times a day, I try to abide by what the doctor is asking me to do. And that's take it 3 times a day. So when I get up in the morning, I take my Oxycontin extended relief on the day off. And depending on how I'm feeling, I may have coffee, tea, and then maybe an hour after that, I may have to take my oxycodone. And I will take that again, let's say around 1, 2 o'clock, and then I will take it again around 8 o'clock. It is for you to take every 6 hours. So when I'm off, I make sure I stick to that. And I make sure I drink plenty of water. So water and a pain medicine. And as long as I keep that in my system, that's how I'm able to push through a 12-hour day without taking the medication. So I recommend you do what you need to do for you. I also know the biggest thing for me that was helpful was the hydrations. So I recently relocated. I no longer live in Georgia. I live in Texas now. And living in Texas, it's a little hotter, of course. But I know I'm really going to need my hydration. So now getting situated here, it's been here a couple of months now. I started going to the doctors, getting my hematologist. They have a sickle cell clinic here, which is great. And I started going to all my different appointments. Well, once I got to the sickle cell clinic and followed up with the hematologist, he was saying, oh yeah, we can get you on hydration schedule. How often did you take it when you were in Atlanta? And I said, oh, I took it once a week. So they was like, oh, no problem. We can get you taking it once a week here. Okay. So I go to my appointment that I've been waiting for this hydration. I'm like, yay, finally, we're going to get my pain under control. I will be able to maintain my sickle cell how I have in Atlanta. They called me the day before because I asked about a copay with me having insurance through my job. Oh, there's no copay, Miss Brown. I said, okay, thank you. Then someone called me the day of and it's like, Miss Brown, yeah, I'm just following up, making sure you know that you don't have a copay. And I'm like, oh, great, wonderful. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. So I get to my appointment and they're like, oh yeah, your copay is $110. What? Your copay is $110. And I'm like, why? And it's like, your family deductible was $5,000. Until you meet that, you gotta pay $110 to get the hydrations. And I'm like, $110 every week? That's like $440 that I do not have. And I don't know how people doing it. So my question is, I don't know if there's anyone out there, because I'm just gonna be honest and real. Back when I didn't make as much money as I make now for a family of 4, before I became a respiratory therapist 9 years ago, I was able to get Medicaid. The kids were able to get Peach State or whatever. But now I'm in a different tax bracket where I have to get the insurance through my job. That's already expensive enough. Then on top of it, you telling me I gotta pay $110 for hydrations? Up to $5,000? That's the whole year. Like, I don't have it. So I don't know if anybody else is running across that, but that is my new problem. And I'm like, y'all can cancel all them appointments because I am not coming. I can't afford it. Like, I feel that I would be better off having money come out of my check every 2 weeks towards my flex spending and be able to use that card at one of these hydration centers and just get a hydration every 2 weeks. Yeah, I won't be able to get pain medicine through that, but I will still be able to stay hydrated. The difference between the hydration clinics and an actual infusion center, when you go to an infusion center at the hospital, they give you most of the time the normal saline, and they're able to give you something for pain, which the facility I went to gave me tramadol. That did absolutely nothing for me because I was in a crisis when I went. So I got so emotional, like tears flowing in my eyes. I'm like, Lord, how? So I come to you guys asking, does anybody else have run across this? When you're on Medicaid, it's like they pay for everything. They pay for your hydration. You don't have to come out of pocket anything. You don't have to come out of pocket for your medications, nothing. But then as soon as you step to that next tax bracket, then now you're responsible for everything, and it's just overwhelming. So now my new goal is to try to come up with some resources for us, people with sickle cell, that need help with their co-pays, that need help with infusions, that need help with getting their monthly medications, because it's not cheap for people that have like Blue Cross Blue Shield, different insurance companies like that, United Healthcare. It's not cheap, and they try to find a way to not cover it at all. When I was back in Atlanta, I know they weren't covering, the insurance company wouldn't cover the hydrations. And it was just terrible. And it was only a couple of places that would do it. And I think Piedmont Fayetteville was one of them. I'm not sure if they're still doing it. And it was supposed to be some other clinics that were supposed to open up around the area. One was Dr. Anthony Anyabula in Riverdale. I'm pretty sure he haven't opened his yet. And another one was like kind of towards Gwinnett, Lawrenceville area. And I'm pretty sure that one is up and running, but I'm not sure if they're set up to take everybody's insurance yet. But now that's my goal. I just want to open a hydration center for sickle cell patients only, where you don't have to worry about a copay, where we're able to take whatever your insurance is going to give, and that's it. And nobody being greedy. Just enough to be able to pay the nurses to come in, start the hydrations, and if it got to be a doctor, even if we can't give the medication, the pain medication, at least you got access to hydration. That is the goal. So leave your comments below if you ran into any issues with that as far as insurance paying for hydrations. A lot of people say they ain't never heard of the hydrations, but it really does help. It really does. When I tell you I was going to hydration once a week, I didn't have a crisis that whole year I was doing it. Mainly because if I needed some medication and I felt like I'm having a crisis this week and my pain level starting to edge up, it's at a inches way up because it's at a 5. Now it's at a 7, and I have a hydration score. Let me call the doctor's office. He will call in pain medication for them to give me through the IV, and that would, in return, after 2 doses of that, bring me back down to my 5 or my 3, and then I would be good and continue on about my week and come back the next week and do the same thing. So I feel hydrations are very, very important. They are very helpful for people with sickle cell, and we need to find a way to help people with sickle cell come up with the co-pays and for hydrations, medications, whatever. It's just not enough resources out here for us, and it's sad. Anywho, I really came on here because I wanted to share my experience with you guys and know if anybody else is going through this, or if you know of any resources that does help pay for the co-pays or help people get their medication with sickle cell. So like, comment, subscribe, leave anything you want to talk about in the comments below, and we will talk about it next time. Remember, we will find a cure by praying for a cure.